Hi, how is everybody? How is everybody? You know what happens sometimes? Smoke a little joint, and then I get really, like, I really get sensitive, and I can see deeper, and the vibrations are more, but I can't do it while I talk. I can do it while I think and write. I can get right into it, and I can write and write and write and write. I wrote about 200 pages in the last couple of days, but don't forget, I rip out pages. Sometimes I write big, and I'll have maybe 60 words on a whole page. On other pages, it might just be like my room and all cluttered up. Although there's nothing in it, I feel like there's someone there. Has ever seen this card here? This is the 8 card. Hold on a second. Where are you? Must be on the boat. Wait a second, I think somebody is coming on the boat. Oh my God. What is it? It's the 9 card. Or is it the 6 card? Holy Christ, watch this. Oh my God, I just showed you how I did it. The inside, the outside of the boat. The ups and downs and all arounds and the angles that it goes. Do you know what happens when my card gets over here? You see this? That's exactly what happens in this world. They already made a television show for every single, almost definitely everything I have chosen, thought of to do. I've seen it in a movie before or something else. Maybe that's what's aiding me in being able to go the distance. Because I've seen it in the movies, and all I'm doing is creating the continuous thought of the guy who only did a 2-hour movie, and I'm doing my 20th hour just this week. So I'm really spreading it up. The other thing is, you can put it this way, you can put it the other way. Do you see what it is? You and you. One you above another you. There's also the X. Now, I'm just throwing things out. I had to come on and nothing's in order. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't finish filling this out yet. This is the roulette wheel. Wherever there's an X is a red number. No red number. See, I made a mistake. You see over here? 1. This is 12. Right over here. You see the X, 12? And then over here, 14. And then the X over here, 16. Then the one below it. See X over X? The one below it? That's 19. Over there. Now, 19. And then we're moving back into the center. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. You see the angle of this shape here? Okay? The angle of that shape gives it a value. Okay? I have to take off my glasses. It gives it a value of... Hold on, I'm coming back with you. I'm coming back with you. Wow, where is it? Maybe it's in the other book. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. You're still there, right? Don't forget in Monopoly, you can either throw a 2 or a 12. Well, why not just take 2 and 12 away? And just see what we can get in between. This is the Quebec flag when I'm done. Do you understand? Here's the big tree, and here's its branches. Well, you can't do a tree. If I would design a tree and God would make everything perfect, everybody would have known and we wouldn't have got down to this point of the Da Vinci Code and Christ. Christ. How can we say it? 77 is Christ, 74 is Jesus. When you put them together, 74 and 75, it says 1,000. 151. A 1, a 5, and a 1. 151. So that makes M. M is love. Okay? It also shows, okay, that the V, the life, okay, these are the sticks on the side, these are the shafts. 1, 5, 1 is a total of 7. But this one is a total of 4 and 6, 10. Saying it's the J God. Saying it's the J God. The J God is the controller inside of Jupiter. Okay. 10 means I service 4 and 6. Who's 4? 4 is 10% of your mind, because that's in Monopoly definition. And 6 is the Oriental. What was the Oriental doing? They put you together down by New Zealand. So Jesus is controlling your body and your mind. And so is Christ. Christ Almighty. No wonder we couldn't say it right. And the Chrysler cars are usually upside down, or at least they were, until they caught up. You know why they couldn't catch up? They weren't allowed. They have to follow the books of the Christ. It's the Chrysler. Whatever Christ does, they have to do something different. If Christ makes it perfect, they can't be perfect. Because if Chrysler is perfect and Christ is perfect, people are going to start thinking Christ is perfect. But they showed the Chrysler is upside down, opposite to Jesus. You follow my drift? They can't do something until they know what the other one has done. Just like the Federation Galactica, they can't do something until something has been done. Then the note comes in, he comes back, and he gives the notes, and this is what happened in the Twin Towers. We're too tall. They were cheating by stealing information. Don't forget, when you get a certain amount of money, you can buy a certain amount, a number of people and states. When you've won all the states, you won that piece of the pie, this game is over, you get those people to work for you. But even when we go work for them, irrelevant to the fact, for the better understanding of numerology, and if there is a God at the end of it, in my game there has to be a God in my game, because he's in the game. He takes back your spirit and he brings it back up. He may throw you right away into another game doing something else for another 10 years to jostle yourself. Imagine being a dog and always doing this. What a coincidence that was. You think the dogs are doing this? They're going, no, it wasn't that coincidence, not that coincidence. Here comes one. Hey, doggy. Come here, doggy. Come on. Come on, doggy. I don't see you. Meow. Meow. Okay. So anyways, I showed you that flag, the Quebec flag. This is going to be the fleur-de-lis. I'm going to make a fleur-de-lis in each box. Now the question is, what's the value of the fleur-de-lis? FDL. What's the value of the cross? What's the value of a tree? Now, this is not a perfect video, because if it was perfect, I'd go sell it. Oh my God, hold on. Oh, my horse. Here's my horse. Hey, horsey. Hey, horsey. Look into the camera, please. What do you think he's going to do now? Hey, baby. What are you doing? Are you going to scratch your head? This is Mr. TABKE, by the way. This is the one that gives me all the information. Right here. Mr. TABKE, you want to talk to the camera, please? Come on, Mr. TABKE. Say something. Do I always have to talk for you? And stick your ass in my face and give me some more information, baby. Hey, what's happening? So listen, this is what we're going to do next. When my son was born, Tampa Bay was playing, if I remember, Minnesota 26-24. And the highways out in Tampa, okay, highways, is it 75, Highway 4, because something is talking to me. The other thing I see here, I'll just do it this way. The numbers that came out were Tampa Bay 7557I, Hoover Dam 93 of Lake Mead. Canada Day. See, the first numbers of pi say CAD, Canada Day. Why do I have to put the N? The N's already here in the 14th letter is the N, is CANADA. You have Canada in 3.1415. You don't think that's part of the pie, a piece of the puzzle of what they want? El Presidente, al dente. Who's saying the al dente? Is it the Italian? Or is it Mexican or Spanish? Whatever that is, that whole language is. It's beautiful anyways. And this has nothing to do with people. This is to do with games people play in which the Galactica Federation plays in order to win. God needs to put people on the earth. You have anybody here? Anybody want to play into Galactical Wars? Angels, angels, yes, yes. Another Galactical War. Oh, this time I'm going to do better than last time. You know what the only thing that keeps screwing me up? Is that death part. I never get that. Death. What does it mean to death do us apart? Do who apart? Who's going apart from where? If we have life after this, I'm not a part of nothing. A part of my body? What does that mean, a part of my body? You mean if I get rid of my body and I only have my brain and I can't see who I am, then what the hell is this good for? Ah, that's where you get into the head of others. And you become the sight. No see, no hear, but because of all the vibrations, you have a movie theater right in your head. Where am I going to go next? I'm not really sure where I want to go next. I got to see the book here. Okay, there were a lot of things I did today. I mean, Jesus, okay, 24 times the number of Jesus. Why would I pick 74 as the number of Jesus? 7 by 4 is 28, 7 and 4 is 11, spirit, angel, and man. 28 days in 12 months. There's 28 days in every month. Okay? So if you really take the 28 days in every month and you multiply that by 10, you have 280. And then 56 makes 336. The 33 of Christ and the 6 of man. The 2 parts of Christ that made us, 3 and 3. Here comes the question. Okay, you have to go down, baby. Here comes the question. If 3 and 3 made you, this is 3 and 3. 3 and 3 and 3 and 3. Okay? In both scenarios, you have the top corners and the bottom corners, leaving you 1379 or 1739. It's the 1379 on your phone. You can also put it in on Monopoly by splitting this complete dice apart and putting this corner over here on visiting jail, the other one on free parking, the bottom one on go, and the reverse on go to jail. Now the dice, okay, should actually be like this. It's more of a Z-like than anything else. Do you know where my pens are, baby? If you shut my camera off, I will be really pissed. Okay, let me look for this. I need a pen. Can you believe it? I only have 9,500 pens. Somebody asked me a question. He says, I've been in Montreal for 200 years or 300 years. So I says, well, I've been in Montreal for about 10,000 years. Just because you're one person in a radius of what you can see of 100 feet or a couple of 100 feet, and you're here and you only hear what one ear can hear. I do the numerology, and I see what everybody says. I just can't be too specific or picky unless the person that was picked was picky and a president. Now, where was I going to write something? I don't know. Did you ever see this one on the roulette? This is the roulette wheel. See the rocket ship at the top? It also makes one down here, but you see over here, there's a guy in the middle. He's got his head sticking up. You see the 2 eyes, one eye here and one eye here, and then he's got his hands in his eyes. His feet are in the bottom, cut down to the cement. And here's the little lemon, ready to spark off this planet and go, or go. See this? 9 quarters make 225, but don't count the center, so then you have an automatic 200. 8 45s, forget it, 9 45s makes 405. 405 is the angle goes in the center, but 8 around makes 360 degrees. 360 degrees, and the 45 in the center, okay, gives you 45 of 5 times 225. I won't be able to explain this right now. Now listen, we have 360 degrees, 360 days. We're missing 5 days of what we're supposed to have. But that 5 days is not true. The world added in 72 days. Then they added the moon. Then they added your minds. And then they ended up with 365.25. But they save it because you can't close an inning. Put it this way. 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. Imagine if each one was an out. Okay? All of a sudden you end the year in 0.25. How do you do that? It's almost like saying, okay, there's 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's over. It's rained out. You can't do that. So they ended on 65 because 6 and 5 is 11. 2 by 65 is 130. It's also 195, which is a diagonal line from the left to the right on your telephone. Right, like this. Why? Because the 0 is worth 1.5 or 15. How do I know that? Because I know when you double down on money with nothing there, but you get an ace that has an 11, okay? When you get paid off for a blackjack, when you get the first card, right away they're saying, oh, it's an ace, it's 11. 10 more, you got 21. Add up 1 to 6, it equals 21. Plus the 3 average in the center is 24. 24 hours a day. The Rubik's Cube. That's why some languages, like the Greek language, only has basically the 24 letters, which is not really 24 because there's some that's alike. So we have to get now we have to get 5.25 days. 159 is in the center equals 15. Okay, 15. Take away 5 1/4 is 9.75. 9.75. Okay. I can't even explain this, but I even understand it. Look at this. This is the line. It totals 15. Okay. We need 5.25 days off this 15. So we end up left over at 9.75. $9.75 equals 39. 39 quarters. 25 cents. Equals this. 39 is 3 trinities of 13. The god of Karak. King, ace, roi in French. Roi in French is king, ace, king. The letter R sound, the letter K sound, K-A-A-R. R-A-K-A. Reka. Whatever that means. Whatever that means. But God's going to say Reka, because when you throw your money in the pot and you got Carmine, you're looking at Levine and Shirley. Shirley and Karim, K-R, Kara, Raka. The suit cards are explanations of what's, you know, I don't want to push anybody, but that's what we're left over with. Did you see I showed you what we were left over with? But now I'm going to add something else. 39 times 7 days, 273 days, plus the 4 corners is 277 days. That is 39 weeks, 4 days. That brings you to Wednesday, the middle of the week, where the Spanish say it's a miracle. 277 days. 273 days less 1 moon, the 10 God, and the 9 birth. Take away 19 from 273, 263, 254. The Twin Towers, 254. 254 is 11. 5 and 4 is 9. Let me show you the Twin Tower trick. 254th day, okay? 2 plus 5 plus 4 equals 11. 5 plus 4 equals 9. And 5 plus 2 equals 7. 16, 27. 3, 3, 3. Here's the Twin Towers. They go down on the 254th day. 2, 5, and 4 is 11. 5 and 4 is 9. 9, 11. But wait a second. We forgot about building number 7. That's right. 5 and 2. 5 and 2 is 7. It had to come down also. Spirit, angel, and man, the birth of the 7 world we're living in. 7 by 9 is 63, creation of 666. 7 by 11 is 77. The 2 worlds of 7 and 7, or 2 times 77 is 154, brought into the 10-10 world, which is 100, makes 254. 9 times 11 is 99. 90, 90, 99. Double that up, we have 1998. And 14 years later, which is the middle of Rubik's Cube, we have something that's coming down. The total is 27. 3 times 3 is 9, by 3 is 27. 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, the pig's pregnancy. 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 days, the pig's pregnancy. He's sitting on a radish. You don't think the Chinese are trying to tell us something? What do you think we're getting so much Chinese stuff for? 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. It's 114 days total would be the pig's pregnancy. 114 from 254 makes 140. 140. How many years ago was that? 11 years ago? 140? 140? It was the 41st president. Take away 114 from 254. Take away 114 from 254. Take away 114 from 254 equals to 140. The Mediterranean. And what was it? Who was the president at that time? George Bush? Is that who it was? We have to go back 11 years. So Bush would have been there as, let's say, 2. He was out in 2004, right? So it would have been Bush. George Bush. If I'm right. Even if I'm wrong, just tell me and I'll fix it. Okay? So that was the 41st president. 114 days. Let me mark it. Hold on a second. 3 by 3 by 3 equals to 27. 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals to 9. The total is 36. 3 by 6 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. Okay, now I'm going to try and bring it more. If it was the 41st president, we take away the pig's pregnancy, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 days, which is 114 days. Take it away from this, and we get 140. 41. First of all, this, okay, right over here, that is the center of Rubik's Cube. It is the cross of Rubik's Cube. Okay, we get the 140 as the 41st president. Okay, 14041. Go look up Sesame Street and see what it says about 4114. If I added it to it, it would say 368. But because the 4 and the 4 are the same, okay, we can take away 3 days. Why? Because it was all in creation. It's 3 days. It's always to do with 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is 101. It'll bring you to 1 day before, 1 day after, somewhere during the week. Wednesday backwards and forwards would end up on Saturday and Sunday. So we end up with 368. Now forget about what I said. The only reason I said take off 3 because it would make 365 days. Okay. Now we're going to go to 14. 14 times 0. Does anybody have the answer? 14 times 0 is 210. 5 by 4 is 20. And 2, 5, 7, 0, 1, 4, 210. So it's 210. 21 is the dice cube, and we have to multiply it by 0 again, 15. We have to make this disappear, or we can leave it, because we came out to a perfect number, 777. And the 0 is the world. So I always multiply it, because 777, we need the 4th one, because there's now 4 corners. So 21 times 0 equaling to 15, 0 equals to 5. 5 times 2 is 105, 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 205. The 220 switch times 2 times 30 plus 5 equals 65. The end result of everything, the reason for it, when there's 2 zeros, okay, you can stop. Because in tennis, it's 15 and 15. Then you're into the 10 world. Once you did the 10 world, then you're into the 20 world. 20 and 10. And 0. Whoever we are inside the egg. The 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever the combination is. By adding these two up, 21 by 15, the first number I got is the number of a poker bluff. Why? Because you add ace to king to ace is 105 in a suit. This is all one face, don't forget. This has to be multiplied by more than one face, depending which world you're in. 2105, 2205. 2205 means 10 o'clock at night and 5 minutes after. 10 o'clock, 5 minutes after says 101. A 220 switch, okay, hooked up because the 5 is the center of where the 220 is. And when you hook up a 220 switch, you get 110. 110, 110. See, it says half. Now I can play any game I want, but I started off with the Twin Towers, and I moved it down to right over here to the 777 world, and that's it. This is the cross of Christ, and 70, the reason is because of Resh. I'm going to show you what Resh does. Okay, here's the letter R, right? You sure? You sure it's not a 70 now? You sure? Is it the letter R? Or is it the 70? But wait a second. Hold on a second. I'm going to put a little line like that in it, right? What do we got now? Oh my God, we got 04. Wow. 1004 is what it is. Why is it 1004? Because I put a 1 in the middle of this one. Now I'm going to put a 1 in the middle of that one. You see, this is 10, right? But they're separated from each other. They're not with each other. If you really want to make a 10, the best way to make a 10 is this way. This is what they do at the racetracks. When it's a 10 horse and that they give it a double color and they slice it down the side. Why? Because the center, everybody knows we need the nougat center. But in every single corner, 1 to 9, 3 to 7, they're both 10-10 worlds. And they cut corners. When you cut a corner in your building, it's a lot easier to do the work, is it not? Or is it better to drive through the wall? But when you're cutting corners, you're holding the corners together with the butterfly strap. Anyways, I don't know what I showed you at the end. I really didn't like everything I said. The other part that I show you, 333 is 9. That is a regular birth. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 27 and 9 is 36. 36 is the numbers on the roulette. Multiply this by 4. For what reason? For this reason here. Didn't you see? This is the roulette wheel. Right here. It's got 1, 2, 3 marks. 1, 2, 3, 6. Where else am I? Where else am I? So we had the 41st president. 41 is the Mediterranean. But you know what's funny? I'm going to get a drink and come back. I'm going to end this very soon so nobody gets too pissed off. That's good. Good stuff. Yeah, anyways, let me jump off subject already from this. We all live in this world, right? Now, for whatever reason, whatever galactic, whatever's out there, let's remember, when it's time to vote, if you can't love it, then let it be. Don't vote. Why vote for something you don't want? What you think it's going to change something? The only time it'll change something is when the person up there stops repeating what he said and starts to say new things like Ron Paul. You ever hear Ron Paul? Even if he's the biggest liar in the world, right? I'm not saying he's a liar. What I'm trying to say is we don't know who's telling the truth. There's so much tyranny from the federations that who knows who's telling the truth. But I've never voted in my life. But if there was ever a time God would ask me, it's time to vote, for me there's only one vote. It's Ron Paul, only Ron Paul, and that's it. There's nobody else out there. Everybody's playing a game. They're all trying to figure out what the other one's going to say. It's not what the other one's going to say. You say what you have to say, what your word is. Say your word. This world has to come to a truth. Even if there's no God, and we're never coming back, there's only one way for survival. The truth creates the trust. And within the trust, you have your freedom. And the money. Got to change. The other thing that was weird, really weird coming home from work, for the last 3 days I've been thinking of the number 103. Why? Because 3 times 103 is 309. 309 is Saturday. All of a sudden, get in my car coming home from work, and there's a big court case going on right now with 103 people for drug smuggling. And my first thing was, oh my God, now I hear the 103 for drug smuggling. It was insanity. If it had to be 4 times, it'd be 4 times 72 is 288. And then 22, 288. And then 21, 1 dice cube. Imagine that. 4 years of 72 is 288, and then a dice cube. Works out so perfect for this weekend. So we have to associate with each other, and we don't like each other. How do you do it? It's never fair for somebody to take home trillions of dollars. Not fair. For every dollar that comes out of this world that is not spent and given back into this world is only working to gain interest against somebody else who's trying to feed himself. In other words, I smell a rotten tomato. But we all know it's wrong. And it's a little sad that everything that's going on in this system, no one gets. They make everybody fall in love with money. Then they tear away your heart from everything. Then they changed away your mind. Because in your mind is money. Because somehow you have to make it. But you make it a lifetime goal to get more and more. We go into the office. We get the minimum of respect and the minimum of pay when the boss drives in with his 3rd Ferrari. Is that respect? Is that what we're supposed to do? Show off what we have? They made too many makes and models of cars, too many kinds of chocolate bars, doubling up and tripling up on everything they do, only to make one switch in the chocolate bar, so the R looks like an S. And now the code is lost in translation, because they made a new chocolate bar by Roundtree, by Cadbury. They put no name on this because they didn't want to put anything in your mind. Your face is your name, is your number. Raphael, 7286. I'm not sure where to go with this, but I think we're going to stop for now. Oh, you see that? Perrier.